Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the third day of 2021 International Geomechanics Symposium. What fun we have had so far, and I'm sure all of you agree with me. This symposium brings so much joy, enjoyment, and technology, knowledge sharing and exchange through the platform. I thank you all for participating. So today, it is our pleasure on behalf of my co-chair, Dr. Abdulaziz Almansour of DGS, Dr. Mohammed Badri of SEG, and Abdulaziz Saad from Saudi Aramco, and all the organizing committee members. We welcome you to this special session, President's Panel. So this panel, with blessing from 5 supporting societies, all the presidents from the 5 societies will join us this morning and share each society's efforts and strategies in this challenging but opportunistic new era. So the presidents, including Anna Shaughnessy from Society of Exploration Geophysics, Katerina Yared from Society of Petrophysics and Wireline Log Analysis, and President Gretchen Gillis from American Association of Petroleum Geologists, Dr. Abdulaziz Almansour from the Huron Geoscience Society, and myself. My name is Gang Han from American Rock Mechanics Association. So the president this morning, as I mentioned, will discuss each society's effort in this new era and explore the collaboration opportunities going forward. And then we will discuss some of the challenges each society face, particularly in the areas such as DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. So the entire panel will be divided into 2 segments. The first segment, each society will give a short presentation of their society efforts. Then the second segment is about discussions on those 2 items. For the audience, feel free to type your questions into the Q&A window to your right. As a moderator, I will try my best to address those questions with presidents. If we run out of time, feel free to join us in the speed networking session, and we will continue follow up. We want to hear your voice. Okay. With that, it is my great pleasure to introduce the first speaker, President Anna Shaughnessy from Society of Exploration Geophysics. Anna, the floor is yours. Feel free to take over.
Thank you. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're coming from. I am, like you heard, Anna Shaughnessy, and the president of SEG. And I'm delighted to be with you here for the 2nd International Geomechanics Symposium. I congratulate the organizer for putting together yet another virtual event. I think these are complicated and difficult, but it's clearly a very popular event. And thank you so much for all the work you've done, and congratulations. And I'm just now going to spend a few minutes talking about what SEG is doing and how we're facing the future. SEG has adopted or embraced 6 strategic pillars, and they basically include everything that we do within the society. And the pillars are innovation, digitalization, preservation, collaboration, representation, and contribution. So when I say that everything fits within these pillars, you might ask, well, where does our symposium fit? Well, clearly you fit within innovation. You're advancing geophysics. And of course, you fit in the pillar of preservation. You are discussing topics about carbon solutions, for example. And collaboration. What is a better way to collaborate and expand your network of colleagues in your field than a symposium like this? SEG is first and foremost a technical society. As we face the future, we will continue to apply our knowledge and experience within the energy arena. This is where we've been for a long time, and we will continue to be here. However, we're also accelerating our involvement in a number of different arenas where applied geophysics makes a difference. We're deeply engaged in the digital transformation and drivers of machine learning and artificial intelligence. This is to allow us to combine even more complex data sets and come up with even better solutions. With many of our sister societies working on similar topics, we'll continue to collaborate wherever we can. As you know, we're already collaborating in meetings and symposiums, and we will continue to expand that collaboration. And I think we're especially interested now in collaborating on topics that brings us towards the energy transition, such as carbon solutions, geothermal, and other topics that revolve around renewable energies and creating a sustainable world. We are actually, or have started a medical imaging task force. We clearly believe that our experience in imaging could make a big difference to the medical field. We're quite excited about this. And we anticipate strong growth in the environmental arena of applied geophysics. For one, through our Geoscientists Without Borders project, a program that I hope you're all familiar with, but also through a much stronger involvement in near-surface geophysics when it comes to topics such as water management and infrastructure maintenance and many other topics that involve near-surface. We will continue to, of course, embrace and support academia. We need to ensure that we attract the most brightest students into geophysics, engineering, geoscience. And of course, we need to support the research that's done at these institutions to make sure that we continue to solve some of the challenging problems we have. Planetary geophysics is a new arena for us, but we would like to explore, for example, how we could use remote sensing and potential methods for planetary imaging. We don't see that there are limits to where applied geophysics can go, and so we just want to make sure that we can contribute wherever we can. And that's just a short introduction to some of the things that SEG is involved in right now. We are excited about what applied geophysics can do and how it can grow within to create a sustainable world. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Anna. And Anna is industry and academia veteran. Everyone knows her being around for a long time. and she actually graduated from University of Gothenburg in Sweden. So she has a very nice European accent. And also she has a master's degree from MIT. As a matter of fact, at one point after she worked in the industry for more than 30 years with Mobil, Saudi Aramco, Tesco, Kerr-McGee, all those companies, she moved back to MIT Earth Resources Laboratory as executive director. And she retired from that laboratory 3 years ago, and currently a consultant. But Anna has been, besides the current president of the Society of Exploration Geophysics, as you all see from her presentation, a lot of exciting things going on. She also worked on SEG Foundation Board, and she also served many SEG committees, including the Women's Network Committee. Anna, it's our pleasure, and like you pointed out, this meeting itself fits very well with the strategies of from the SEG and beyond in other societies as well, such as the Society of Petrophysicists and wire and log analysis. President Katerina Yared and is our next speaker, and she is a senior petrophysicist at SM Energy in Denver, and her oil field career started with Baker as a field engineer. After she received her master degree in geology from the RWTH, Aachen University in Germany. And she actually had quite a lot of experience, industry experience as well, working with different companies, including, besides BHI, including News Geo Solutions and Apache Corporation, QEP Solutions, Resources, and SM Energy, of course, right now. And Katerina is a president of SPWLA. She's also active member, very active member actually, of other societies such as AAPPG, SPE, and a lifetime member of SPE and ARMA as well. With that, Katerina, what floor is yours? Feel free to take over.
Thank you so much, gang. I'm very honored to be here, part of this very esteemed panel. So thank you for the invitation. And I echo a lot of Anna's points, very well executed, symposium, virtual. I know how much work goes in that and how much, you're stressed about it, but it has been a wonderful 2 days. So we're looking forward to some more. And actually, I'll be chairing CCUS carbon sequestration session tomorrow with Dr. Sulush. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, so welcome everybody. Marhaba, al-Sayyidat wa Sadati. Welcome everybody, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Katerina Yared, like Gang said. I'm the president of the SPWLA. A lot of people call it SPWLA these days, or it's an international term, let's say. What I just wanted to say is, for sure, our industry is in a change mode. We are experiencing requests for energy, and that energy demand is definitely going to grow even further. The problem today is of delivering reliable, sustainable energy, and the SPWLA as well as other societies are working hard to create platform of knowledge sharing. And I think that's our strength really when it comes to societies like us. We're very specialized in certain things, but what we do know best, and for many decades, almost centuries, if not that, is that we know the subsurface very well. So therefore, a smaller society like the SPWLA are preparing for creating special interest groups, and there is one coming up next year called Alternative Subsurface and Energy Transition Special Interest Groups. And we already had digital transformation, so petrophysics data analytics, PDDA, SEG is already out there, just because things are evolving very fast. So we need to be ready for the demand, and with that, be ready to add to the mix of energy resources. And with that, the advancement that we bring from the oil and gas industry into the renewable energy space is something that is really, prone to us, and in enabling the transition to speed up as well as diversify into an option for many countries to be able to get reliable energy. And with that too, it is about attracting new talent and therefore students. And that has been one of my biggest goals in my presidency so far, is to start to create momentums on the student level, as they will continue our legacy on for hopefully another century or so. So that is all I had for now. But again, I appreciate the invitation, and I'm very humbled to be part of this panel.
Thanks, Katerina. Well, very well said. Very well said. And our next speaker is from AAPG, President Gretchen Gillis. Gretchen also industry veteran for a while. She's a senior geological consultant at Aramco Americas in Houston. And she actually started his career as an exploration geologist, and later served in a variety of roles, particularly in communication roles with Symposium. Gretchen, besides the president of AAPG, she has a legend of serving societies in different roles, such as AAPG editor, recognized as Distinguished Service Award, honorary member award, and also she has been on the board of directors of Geoscience Award, and later on become the board chair for that Geoscience Award. Also, Gretchen is a trustee associate of AAPG Foundation, SEG Foundation, director of SEG Foundation as well. So Gretchen had a bachelor degree in geology from Brian Mawol College, then master degree from UT Austin as well, the Longhorns. So Gretchen, the floor is yours. Go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Gong. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone. I'm really delighted to be here with such distinguished and dedicated colleagues and this audience that spans so many time zones. As you can tell from what Gong said, I'm proud to be a member of a number of organizations that have supported my career in the energy industry, AAPG, SEG, SPE, SEPM, and others. SPWLA, DGS, and ARMA are among the few that I have not joined yet. So people have been asking me what it's like to lead an organization like AAPG in weird times like those we're in. And really, leaders don't necessarily choose what is going to happen or when they're going to be asked to serve. And so we are all challenged to keep our organizations healthy and relevant, despite the many changes and distractions and calamities around us. To be clear, I'm honored to serve as AAPG president this year. I think we'll get into later some of the specific strategic responses AAPG is making to rapidly changing conditions. And collaboration is a key part of our strategy. But I want to speak more generally about the importance of engagement in service in organizations like ARMA, DGS, AAPG, SEG, and SPWLA. Certainly, the core purposes of these organizations are really important. Advancing and disseminating science, promoting technology, inspiring high professional standards, and advancing the professional well-being of our members. These are all really important purposes. But just as important is the spirit of community we experience by being part of these organizations. And I'm afraid that our success at electronic networking has eroded some of our sense of the wonderful community and networking opportunities these organizations provide when we are able to travel and be together in person. So I'd like to urge all of us to push back on organizations that do not place a sufficiently high value on participation. And I'd like to remind this distinguished audience that participation in organizations like ours as members and volunteers can be truly life-changing. I have made many enduring friendships, including the people in this panel. I have learned tons by volunteering. I have gained skills and recognition that have advanced my career. And now I have the pleasure and responsibility of giving back to organizations that have served me well for more years than I care to state publicly. So I'd like to urge you in closing to please be sure that you join and maintain your memberships and volunteer as your time permits. And please bring your friends and colleagues along as well. You will certainly gain more than you give. So I'd like to thank you for your attention, and I wanted to be brief because I'm really looking forward to the questions and answers. And Gong, thank you for honoring me with this invitation.
Our pleasure, Gretchen. Very well said from both call for member participations and volunteer efforts. You certainly set up a role model along with Dave, your husband, donating a lot of not only efforts but also other resources to the society. The next speaker is Dr. Abdulaziz Almansour, is another Longhorn. He actually graduated from UT Austin as well with master's degree in geological science. Abdulaziz is the president of the Haran Geoscience Society. He has over 10 years of multidisciplinary experience in hydrocarbon resources and reserves assessment, regional resources assessment, and yet to find mapping. So Abdulaziz is focused in reserves assessment, decision analysis, petroleum economics. He is currently leading the Northern Area Assessment Team as Exploration Resources Assessment Department in Saudi Aramco. Besides the president of DGS, he also very active as well in other societies such as AAPPG and SEG. With that, the floor is yours, Abdulaziz. Feel free.
Thank you, Dr. Han, for the introduction. I'm truly humbled to be here and span a discussion among the distinguished leaders and professionals. Over the next couple of slides, I'll give you some introduction on the Bahrain Geoscience Society and some history behind the society. Starting with the vision and mission of the DGS. Our vision in the Bahrain Geoscience Society is to become a globally recognized professional society that enables regional oil and gas geoscience professionals to share technical knowledge that is essential to meet the world's energy needs in a safe and environmentally responsible manner. Our mission is to provide the technical and professional development for our members in the domain of exploration for and development of petroleum mineral resources within Saudi Arabia. So I'll take a couple of minutes to go through the journey and the society was first founded. So the DGS was founded in 1987, and you can see from how old the logo looks like, it has a rich history in art. In 1998, the name of the society changed to the Bahrain Geoscience Society to be more inclusive toward the different disciplines within the geoscience community. In 2013, the Young Professional section was established to enable and empower our young professionals in their career advancements. And in 2017, we celebrated our 30th anniversary, and we reaffirmed our commitment toward our members and serving the regional technical professionals. In 2018, we had a major reorganization in the executive committee where we established 3 different platforms: the technical exchange, the professional development, and the public outreach platforms. We are an affiliated societies with the AAPG, EAGE, and SEG, and we truly honor our partnership with the 3 societies and our collaborations over the many decades. We offer programs, technical events, and initiatives in energy, technology, geospatial, sustainability, and mineral resources. This takes me to the end of my brief introduction. If you'd like to learn more about the society, please feel free to scan the barcode. And with that, I yield the floor back to you, Dr. Han.
Thank you. Thank you, Abdulaziz Almansour. So, in lieu of the timing, I just briefly introduce myself. My name is, since I'm not the bad guy, I usually use this joke. My first name pronounced as a Gang, as a European pronunciation, An, rather than Gan. So that's all my punchline. So I'm the president of American Rock Mechanics Association, ARMA. So ARMA is established from the U.S. National Committee for Rock Mechanics at the National Academy of Sciences in 1995. So our mission, ARMA mission, is to be worldwide recognized representation of multidisciplinary rock mechanics advancements and applications to serve its members and the public. So our main members in petroleum come from petroleum, civil, mining, geothermal, and interdisciplinary. About half of the members actually are from overseas, outside the US, and 30% of our members are students, including 14 student chapters around the globe. So what is our goal? During my presidency, I pledged to continue developing ARMA into a more technological, innovative, diverse, and transparent society. With board support and leadership support, we established geothermal technical track in addition to petroleum, civil, mining, and interdiscipline. And recently, we established the technical committee on discrete fracture network. It will join the other technical committees ARMA has, such as the hydraulic fracturing, induced seismicity, drilling, tunneling, underground storage and utilization, which also includes CO2 sequestration. So those technical committees are the backbone, if you will, the pillars, technical pillars for ARMA. Recently, we also, in lieu of the rapidly changing and challenging new era, we established an advisory committee looking at what ARMA wants to be in 5 or 10 years or even longer. We established membership committee serving the members, strategic committee on journal publications, We also established the task forces on DEI, for instance, communication and cooperate. So that's what's going on right now at ARMA. Last but not least, I have this a President Coffee initiative ongoing. All of you invited, regardless you're ARMA member or not. The Coffee is a virtual platform to hear anybody's suggestion to build a better technical society. So with that, I think we conclude the first session, which highlights each society, their efforts, very impressive. Thank all the presidents. The second segment, we're going to have panel discussions. The first discussion, we're going to focus on the society collaborations. This symposium will not be here without the collaborations from the 5 supporting societies. That's a classic example. And so I'm going to ask presidents, what are your experience in terms of what are the most successful collaboration experience your society has had so far, and why? Beyond that, what are the new opportunities for society to collaborate? So why not we start with Gretchen first? Gretchen, what's your take on this from AAPG point of view?
Yeah, thanks, Gong, for the question. I think from the AAPG side, we recognize that societies are competing for a smaller pool of members and volunteers and financial support resources. And so collaboration makes sense. And certainly in AAPG, we have decades of success in collaborations around conferences. For example, the Offshore Technology Conference, IPTC, and URTech. We have successful collaboration in publications such as Interpretation, a journal we publish with SEG, and even in setting standards such as the Petroleum Resource Management System. And so AAPG is really focusing on a strategy of greater collaboration. Certainly in the last year or so, we've tried to do more with our partners. So, for example, when the pandemic made employment really terrible, we joined with the SPE Gulf Coast section Members in Transition program, and with them expanded to Midland and Denver to support members who were seeking new employment. With SEG, we formed an agreement for the International Meeting for Applied Geoscience and Energy, which we just ran in Denver. And I think it is the start of many more terrific meetings because the planning will be integrated from the start. We also, behind the scenes, formed a joint events team with SEG so that we share staff and really benefit from the talent of both organizations, but also get the efficiencies of sharing staff. And of course, the biggest thing on my plate right now is working to explore a merger with SPE to form a new organization for energy professionals in the future that is built on our shared legacy and heritage of petroleum geoscience and engineering. So I think collaboration serves us well. Certainly our corporate advisors have been pushing on us to be more efficient and to work together more. And that's really my strong message, is that I think by working together, we do a better job of serving people and science and industry. So thanks for the question, Gong.
You most welcome, Gretchen. The examples you are giving is enlightening and inspiring as well. So on the other hand, Katerina, for ARMA and SPWLA a similar size, for smaller society, what's your thought on these society collaborations, especially in this new challenging, especially in this energy transition, energy transformation, new era? What's your thought?
Yeah, that's a good point, Gang. We definitely are smaller. Our staff includes 2 people, for example, for the SPWLA. So everybody else are all full volunteers. But the fact that they are volunteers and we're still, moving the needle here in terms of bringing the knowledge that we're privy to is something that it's going to be our flagship, right? It's the knowledge that we provide is something that we built over many years, and providing a platform to share it with other societies, like Gretchen mentioned, YourTech. It's a platform also where ARMA, both ARMA and SPWLA, are contributing to, and have their own sessions, and are able to provide a technical program on a very specific subject, so to speak. But it all has to do with the subsurface. The subsurface doesn't really care if you're ARMA or SPWLA. It's a matter of combining the complexity of the multiple disciplines and contributing with the knowledge that you can provide. And I think, again, we see it here. We see it in multiple occasions where societies are coming together because the knowledge that we would then provide to the members is so much more valuable if we collaborate and we work together. So I think that's then the benefit that we can then provide to, even though smaller societies, we can still provide the bigger picture to our members as well that way.
Yes. Even though in Texas the size matters, but outside Texas size is not the index, if you feel. But on the other hand, I can certainly I cannot agree more with Katerina in terms of focusing on what we are good at from the societies like SPWLA and ARMA. But I also see challenges from, for instance, the Quran Geoscience Society as a regional society. So Abdulaziz Almansour, what's your thought on these society collaborations?
Question, Dr. Gang. I think I couldn't agree more with what Katerina mentioned and Gretchen already highlighted in the collaboration. We also face the same challenge. We are a smaller society, and all of our members and executive committee officers are fully volunteered. They have their own day jobs, and they're only volunteering for the benefit of the members of the Quran Geoscience Society. So collaboration has been a key integral part in all of the successes of our events. In all of our technical workshops, in all of the programs that we offer, we always see collaborations between SEG, AAPG, and EAG. So we do see firsthand how valuable the collaboration is between setting the platform between the regional professionals and the international societies and the more global societies. So we are all in for collaboration, and we do think that collaboration will add value to both or all societies involved in. As Gretchen mentioned, we are competing against a limited set, both financially and membership resources. So I do think that the only way forward for smaller organizations such as ourselves is to collaborate with the major ones.
Yeah, well said. DGS has been very consistently promoting the society collaborations. The presidents I knew, from Dr. Mohammed Duhilan to Halif Tamimi to yourself, set up very good examples. So Anna, after other presidents, one of the things that seems everyone facing with, seems putting resources around it, is to address the climate challenges, the energy transition challenges, is the carbon capture, utilization and storage. So what do you see from SEG side in terms of collaboration opportunities for other society, with other society in this arena?
Yes, thank you, Gang. I think we have a completely new opportunity to collaborate on some of these very important topics that relate to the energy transition. And now the Daran Geoscience Society is already a mix of geoscientists, geologists, geophysicists, probably engineers as well. But the other four organizations here pride ourselves in our strength in geology and rock mechanics, in wire logging, and applied geophysics. And I think some of the challenge will be how can we keep that deep strength within our expertise and collaborate on some of these big topics like carbon capture, utilization, and sequestration. How can we really make sure that we bring our strengths and yet build them in new directions, new solutions? I think that's going to be critical for all of us. And so some of the challenges, I think, is, you know, we could all merge into one giant society. And I think my question there is, how do we keep that deep strength in wire logging, for example? How do we make sure that strength continues to grow and evolve while it's also supporting the big topics, if you will? But I think it's very, very exciting. I think that we're all looking towards creating a sustainable world. We know that within our different professions, expertise, we have a tremendous role to play. I think we all know that we have a challenge of communicating that role and the benefits that we are supplying. I think it's something we all need to work on, and maybe that's another collaboration opportunity, actually, to really spread the message what geoscience and engineering can do to really provide renewable energies and different sources of energies to create this sustainable world. And I clearly understand that we will continue in petroleum for many, many years, and yet I am excited to see how we can accelerate some other forms of energy. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for bringing this excitement. And opportunity is abundant with challenges, but with collaborations of all the societies and the presidents, all the presidents have highlighted. I think we all should be confident we can overcome any challenges that are coming along the way. With that, I think we wrap up the first panel discussion. The second aspect is about diversity, equity, inclusion efforts. As a society, as a president's group, this morning, this group itself represents DEI characters, right? So you have, for instance, Anna from Sweden, Katerina with Italian and Germany background, and you have Abdulaziz from Saudi Arabia. You have Gretchen from US, and myself is a Chinese background. And this is a very diverse group. So for the societies, however, we're all facing different challenges in terms of DEI, and a lot of efforts are going as well. So I probably just pick up Anna again, back to back, for your thoughts and suggestions for this DEI from SEG point of view.
Thank you, Gang. Yes. These are topics that have come to the forefront in the last year or so. We I'm sure you're all aware that we had some big challenges here last year, which with the murder of George Floyd, which really highlighted some of the challenges that we have in the US. I think within SEG, it's not a challenge just within the US. I think it looks different in different parts of the world. SEG has recently formed a committee called JEDI, which stands for Justice, Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion. And the intent of this committee is to ensure that we become much more inclusive, that we really invite people that might not have been invited to the table before to be on our committees, become chairs. We would love to see a much broader global representation. And to me, I would love to sort of grow this pipeline of talent around the globe from different countries, from different types of geophysics, from you name it, academia to industry and so on and so forth, to really become the society that we would like to be. I think it's fair to say, it might be harsh, but we've been a rather privileged society, and it's been easier if you have been privileged with the right degree, the right place you came from, etc. And I think we at SEG know that we really have to take a look at that and see how we can become inclusive. So we're working on it, and I think it's very important, and I'm right behind this. So I thank you so much.
Yeah. Well said, Arne. So Gretchen, AAPG has a very active women's network. I follow very closely, actually, a great efforts. Do you want to share some of the highlights or some of the efforts at AAPG on the DEI?
Yeah, certainly, Gong. Thank you. So as you mentioned, the Women's Network has been around for quite a while, initially as the Professional Women in Earth Science Committee. We also have a special interest group focusing on diversity in STEM fields. And these groups have been working together quite a bit. More recently, they've had some really fun and successful events around community building in topics such as the geology of wine, the geology of beer. And on November 12th, they're having an event focusing on how caves influence wine and cheese. So geology and two of our other favorite things. They've also worked hard on nominations for the executive committee and for awards. But I would say, and forgive me if I repeat what Anna said, they need allies to help with this hard work. And so these supportive networks are very important to leveling the playing field and ensuring that our organizations, whether they are universities, societies, or companies, leverage the available talent. I think we all have a stake in diversity and inclusion as a professional and ethical responsibility, because diverse teams are more successful. And again, this also applies to societies because they benefit directly from the talent that they attract and engage. So I'll hand back to you, Gong. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. So Abdulaziz, so what's your takeaway, actually? What's your efforts at DGS to address this critical issue?
Thank you, Gang. I think personally the efforts toward DEI is a never-ending quest. It's something that we have to nourish all the time. We've established a few programs and initiatives a few years ago, and we can already see the fruits now. For example, in the 2021 Executive Committee, 50% of the officers are women. 2 out of the 3 vice presidents that we have are women as well. But as I mentioned, it's something that we have to nourish. It's something that we have to keep working on, to keep pushing for. And I'm very optimistic that I anticipate within the next 2 years, we will see the first female presidents in the history of the Bahrain Geoscience Society. So it's something that we need to be aware of and keep working toward with support networks and programs. Back to you.
I have to say, Abdulaziz, for the folks who may not be aware, the co-chair for the technical review committee of this symposium, Sarah ARMA, is a young Saudi engineer. And I have to say, I look forward to seeing, I wouldn't be surprised to see a new female president in the near future from DGS. Thank you for this. So Katerina, go ahead, feel free.
Well, I mean, for smaller societies like ours, we rely on the pool that is available. But if they see you, they can be you, right? So again, this is goes back to my efforts in promoting student chapters, and the diversity within the SPWLA board is already speaking for itself. There's not much we can do there, but in the terms that we attract talent, diverse talent, this is the work that we can do, and that's where the efforts have been. And as of right now, for example, currently our SPWLA board there is no U.S. Citizen on the U.S. board. So there you go.
That's a very good example, though. Reflects the diverse membership base that SPWLA has. At ARMA, as a matter of fact, next Friday at the President Coffee, we're going to focus on the DEI. We'll bring our task force chair, as well as the invited chairs from other societies. All of your society DEI chair invited. I will follow up. And we want to hear the lesson and the experience from others and promote this within ARMA as well. But with that, I think this morning I just couldn't be thrilled and excited to join the presidents from DGS, SEG, SPWLA, AAPG, and I thank presidents from Shaughnessy, Katerina Yared, Gretchen Gillis, and Abdulaziz Almansour. Thank you for the efforts, especially Katerina woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning to join this. For all the rest of folks, in lieu of the timing, we may not be able to pull questions from Q&A. However, please join us in the networking, speed networking events on the platform, and we will be around to address your question. And feel free to contact each president as well. Their contact information you can find on the each society website. With that, I conclude this panel. Thank all the presidents again, and for the audience, enjoy the wonderful day at the symposium. I see you all around. Thank you all.
Thank you.